Hello everyone, I am Robert and welcome to Robert's English Classroom. This lesson is about phrasal verbs using the word with. A phrasal verb is a phrase that has a verb and one or a few other words in or around it that has its own meaning. And in English conversation, there are a lot of phrasal verbs, so it's a good idea to learn them, study them, remember them, and practice them. And if you want to learn about some other phrasal verb combinations, check out some of the other videos on my channel. So let's get started with phrasal verbs using the word with. Let's go. Let's get started with phrasal verb number one, come up with. Come up with. Come up with simply means to think of an idea or a way or a solution to something. So you're going to think about it, think of a new idea, you will come up with a new idea. Or think of a new solution to the problem, you come up with a new solution. So, for example, your friend might say, hey, what should we do for our party next week? And you can say, oh, I'll come up with an idea. I'll come up with an idea. Or someone at school might ask you, can you come up with a new way to do this project? And you can say, sure, I can come up with a new way to do it. So come up with simply means to think of a new way or a different way to do something. Come down with is another phrasal verb, and it is a completely different meaning than come up with. Come down with means to get sick. Come down with. Come down with a cold. Come down with the flu. Come down with a stomachache. I couldn't come to work last week because I came down with a stomachache. She couldn't come to school today because she came down with the flu. So come down with means to get sick. And you can come down with many things. Like I said, come down with the flu, come down with a fever, come down with a cold, come down with a headache, come down with a stomachache. Get it over with. Get it over with. Get it over with means that you want to finish something quickly, and usually it's something that you really don't want to do or you don't like doing. So for example, you might have a big test coming up in school, and you can say, I really want to get it over with. I really want to get it over with. I want this test to be finished quickly. Or maybe at work you have to go on a business trip that you really do not want to go on. And you say to your colleague, oh, I just want to get it over with. I want to finish this business trip and be done. Now the it can also be replaced with a noun. So you can say, I want to get the test over with. Or I want to get this business trip over with. Or I want to get this boring party over with. Get it over with. The next two are agree with and disagree with. So they are opposites. Agree with means you have the same opinion as somebody else. Disagree means you do not have the same opinion. So you might say, I agree with your opinion about the president. But you could also say, I disagree with the way we will finish this project. I disagree with your idea. Now, agree with and disagree with can also be used for people. So basically, you can say, I disagree with you, or I agree with you. I agree with my teacher. I disagree with my boss. I agree with my friend. I disagree with my mother. Agree with and disagree with. Side with. Side with. Side with means to choose a side that you want to follow. So you can side with a person, or side with a team, or side with a group, or side with a company. So for example, maybe there's a big soccer game and your friend asks you, hey, what team will you side with? And you can say, oh, I will side with the red team. That means you will follow the red team, you like the red team, and you support the red team. Or maybe at work, you've got one colleague with this idea and this colleague with this idea. Which colleague do you side with? Oh, I'm going to side with this colleague. I like his idea better. So side with simply means to choose a group or a person to go along with or to follow. Stick with is a little bit like side with. Stick with here, the stick means to stick together. So you might be doing something a long time and you don't want to change your ideas or you don't want to change your support. So you will stick with that idea or stick with that support. So for example, maybe you have used an Apple iPhone for a long time and you love iPhones. Well, Samsung comes along and says, hey, why don't you try our Samsung cell phone? And you'll say, no thank you, I will stick with the Apple iPhone because I really like them. Stick with the Apple iPhone. You will stay with them, stick together, and not separate. Stick with can also be used regarding a person. So for example, you play on a baseball team and you have a coach and you love that coach and you have played for that coach for maybe 2 or 3 years. And that coach moves to a different team to coach. Well, you really like that coach, so you want to stick with that coach. So you move to the other team also, so you can stick together with that coach. You stick with that coach. Stick with is also used for a person's ideas. My father has many smart ideas about business. I always stick with my father's ideas. Or my mother has some great ideas about life. I always stick with my mother's ideas. So stick with means to stick together and not separate your support or ideas or something that you like. Team up with. Team up with. This phrasal verb is used when we have people or groups that come together and work towards a goal. So for example, at work, I can say Brian teams up with me to get the project finished. Or Brian teams up with me to help plan a birthday party for our colleague. Now often, team up with is used by companies. So company A will team up with company B to do something. So for example, Apple might team up with Samsung to support fighting cancer. Or Nike teams up with Adidas to support the Olympics. Team up with basically means that two things come together, join together, and work together. Run off with has two meanings. The first meaning is stealing something. The thief ran off with the man's computer. The thief ran off with the man's computer. Or, oh no, someone ran off with my cell phone. Someone stole my cell phone. Think about it like they steal it and they run away. Now the second meaning of run off with is to kind of quickly and quietly go get married. Hey, did you hear? Brian ran off with Jill to Las Vegas to get married. So run off with can mean steal something or to run off and get married. Get away with it. Get away with it. When you get away with something, it means you've done something wrong and you're not punished for it. That guy stole millions of dollars. He got away with it. The police never found the money and they couldn't prove he did it. She cheated on the big math test. The teacher never found out. She got away with it. She got away with it. Hang with. I like to think of this one like we're monkeys in a tree hanging around together. Hang with means to spend time with friends or to spend time with family or to spend time with others. After school, I usually hang with my friends. On Sundays, I usually hang with my family. After work on Fridays, I usually go to the pub and hang with my coworkers. Get on with it. Get on with it. We use get on with it when we're talking about working on something and not taking a break and not wasting time so we can finish it quickly. We have been working on this project a long time. I don't want to take another break. Let's just get on with it so we can go home. Today is not a great day to be practicing for the baseball team, but we have to do this because we need to get better. Let's just get on with it and keep practicing. So get on with it is used when we want to keep on working, not take a break, and quickly finish. And the final phrasal verb is deal with it. deal with it. We deal with something when we don't want to be doing it, but we have to keep doing it. So for example, the weather is really hot outside this summer, and I will complain, oh, it's so hot out every day this summer, I don't like it. But we have to deal with it. We have to live in it. We have to live in the summer. We can't change it. Another example could be your class. I don't like this teacher and I don't like this class, but I have to take the class. I guess I have to deal with it. I have to deal with this class, or I have to deal with this teacher. You have no choice. You have to finish. Okay, everyone, let's review the list one more time. Come up with, come down with, get it over with, disagree with, agree with, side with, stick with, team up with, run off with, get away with, hang with, get on with it, deal with it. Remember, there are some other videos on my channel of phrasal verbs. There are a lot of them, so keep on practicing them and keep on learning them because you hear them all the time in English conversation. Anyways, I'll see you in the next video. Hi everyone, I'm Robert. Remember to click on the subscribe button or the like button if my videos are helping you learn English. I'll see you next time.